What happens when you borrow the creative principles of designers, filmmakers and tech startups and apply them to the way we design civic services? The Smart Cities Project Day in Edinburgh discussed existing experiences from countries in the European Union's Interreg North Sea region, but also looked at experiences from outside the world of civic engagement, borrowing the same processes used by those working in the creative industries to develop fresh ideas for products and services that people really want. Here is some feedback from participants who experienced the process of design thinking firsthand, exploring existing challenges through empathy, identifying with the end user's current way of doing things, gathering observations in an intense manner, and subsequent phases of synthesis, ideation and prototyping, helping bring those ideas into focus, source fresh ideas to solve them, and test those ideas out, swiftly and in the real world.
My name is Bjørgulf Torjussen. I come from the municipality of Kristiansand in Norway. I think it's been good, very precise, very quick, good sessions and good guidance. Actually, I think most of what we have done and even what have been presented have some ideas for further co-design. But mainly, I think the way of using a sort of what's it called a guided approach, step by step, how to eventually sort out the problem, and then eventually, I hope the next step will be doing something with the problem. So
I'm Elke van Soom. I work for Memory, which is a research institute connected to the Lessius University College in Belgium.
And from this morning's workshops and presentations, what are the main lessons you're taking away, or the main things you think you could use?
That there are many different forms and types of co-design, and that you don't always have to have an enormous project or a very big innovation, but you can always also work on a very small scale together with your end user, with your customer, and co-design small things and big things. Well, for me personally, we do a lot of research for local governments and for social profit organizations. So I think there's a lot of ideas that I can take into those consultancy jobs. Yeah, I had a lot of interesting thoughts coming up, so I'm taking them with me for future projects. Yeah.
Alexander Adams, University of Applied Sciences in Oldenburg, amongst other things.
And what lessons have you taken away from this morning's workshops?
First thing that comes to mind is the project corner, as a matter of fact. Because I'm working on projects for Smart Cities and also for other things. I'm an engineer, project business, and I've never had a project corner. I think that's a very good idea of having like a designated space, really with post-its and everything, where everybody can like collect his ideas. In the engineering business, everything is digitalized, so of course that has its advantages. But I think that's a good thing to do. And on the current project, I'm actually going to implement it as of Friday.
Super.
Yeah.
And from the table that you were at, where there are specific challenges that maybe aren't in your everyday world, but which you think that perhaps a solution is on the verge of being found through that kind of process?
What do you mean here in?
In the workshop itself.
I don't quite gather what you mean. I think
it's a very badly put question. I think what I'm wondering is that in the workshops we talked about specific problems. I think in your group it was one that it's not your problem per se.
No, but it's just the coding problem, innovative workshop festival. How do you organize it, and how do you get the work done, and how do you streamline the work? You mean referring to that question?
One of the challenges of co-design is you want to involve people from different parts of the organisation, people who maybe don't think it's their problem to solve. And you were in that position this morning, solving someone else's problem that's got nothing to do with you. Did you find it a useful experience, or did you feel that you were giving all this contribution and not getting anything in return?
No, what I found when I looked at the post-its was because at the table you got a gathering of different expertises. You got social sciences, you got administrative experts, you got engineer, communications engineer, and everybody kind of put in their field of experience. Mine was very technical structured. The social sciences were questions of society. How do you get the idea out? That was interesting to see how, when you have a diversified group like that, how you can get a good input and how you can create solutions from that. So I think it was a positive experience, and it shows me when I do a project to make sure I don't only get engineers. I also, especially for my field, engineering problems, get people from outside of engineering to give their input in.
Not necessarily.